3 enrollment screens. When we were meeting with boards in Detroit, they shared with us that it takes them approximately 5 days to match a new member to an account if the account is created in the onboarding process. It takes them typically 10 days to do that match when the account is created through the website or through the mobile app. So the quickest way to get your reporting up to date on here is driving the enrollment through the onboarding process and the new owner setup. And when I say 5 to 10 days to match, then you're following that up with I don't know how many days to get everything over to the SFE report and getting SFE to get everything updated. I think in July it wasn't uncommon to see 15 days or so for things to post, and in some cases even longer. You have one other opportunity that doesn't pay the SFE bonus, if you will, but it can give you a little bit of a peace of mind. Dealerships have the ability to look up a customer in Global Connect, and this was primarily done for the dealership to be able to go in and pull down a voucher that a customer wanted to redeem. But we can use it on the sales floor also, and through the dealerships that I've worked with, we've used it in several different occasions where at the conclusion of a delivery, the salesperson would just go in, pull up the screen that shows the enrollment and the points, and they'd print that screen, and that would go into the deal jacket to show the leadership team that the account had been created. Several salespeople have started doing this and saving it on their own, just so if it doesn't eventually update and post on their SFE report, that they'll have the documentation that shows the account has actually been set up. So for you to go in and look up a customer, it's a couple of easy steps. You go into Owner Center, you go into Global Connect, you click on App Center, you'll see the My Rewards app, click on it, and then over on the right-hand side, you'll click on Launch. When you click on Launch, if you have access to this, and most of you should have, you should see this screen where you've got that little window in the red box that you can type in the email address that the customer used to create the account. By doing that, you can pull up the customer's account. If you click Launch, and instead of seeing this screen, you see an error message, you'll have to get to your management team and have them push through Access. And there's Access is described over on the app resource that's behind this. So what you would see is type in the email address. Once you do that, you'll come up with, in this case, Robert Babcock, and you can see the account information. See the red box that's outlined there under the word voucher? You're not going to see that. This screen was prepared to show how to do a voucher redemption. A brand new customer would not have purchased any vouchers yet. So what you're looking at on this screen is 3 different things that could occur. If you'll notice, the header information is on the left in the dark print, kind of hard to read it, but then the customer information is to the right of that in the lighter print. If you type in an email address and this screen comes up and there's no customer name, no customer information, that means there's not a My Rewards account tied to the email address that you just typed in. In working with salespeople on this earlier, we typically would just go back and type in the email address again just to make sure that we hadn't typed it in an error. And about half the time we'd get it to load with the customer information. So if it comes up blank the first time, I would try the email address the second time. If it comes up blank second time, I'd be fairly confident that there's not an account set up for this customer. Second thing that could occur is you could have all the customer information show up, but on the bottom left-hand side above the word voucher, it shows a points balance. If the point balance is 0, and you've just set up the account for the customer this day, you've got an issue because the 1,000 points for enrollment kind of post automatically and it posts immediately. The only time we've seen this occur with a brand new account is when it was set up with the member website and the member had not gone in and clicked confirmation on the email that was sent to them. So if you've enrolled them over the website and they've not clicked that confirmation email, they'll show up here with the name and the customer information, but the points will be 0. The opportunity the points be 0 is an existing account, such as what I had when I was at the dealership and bought the car. I could have already redeemed all of my points on previous purchases, so it would have shown 0. But remember, if you're just creating the account today and you're doing the screenshot today, the customer hasn't had an opportunity to spend those points yet, so it should show the points on that account. If they don't show, you've probably got a situation that they haven't clicked confirm. And then the final scenario is you see Robert Babcock, you see his customer information, you see points. That's a pretty solid indicator that you have an active account set up for that customer. I have many salespeople just clicking print screen and filing that, because that's a document that you can use on down the road should you have to file an exception with SFE on getting a qualifier for My Rewards. The thing to keep in mind is you can go back and pull this up for someone that you enrolled 30 days ago, and it may have all the information on it. It won't guarantee that they were enrolled within your 15-day window that you have for enrolling a new member. That's where I would have you going forward print this screen the same day that you enroll someone, because it doesn't show an enrollment date. You can still use a print screen for a previous enrollment. Just know that when you send it in with an exception report, GM will be able to validate the date the enrollment actually occurred. Something to keep in mind, when a new enrollment occurs, there's an automatic look back seeking activity that customer may have had in the past. So if I were to randomly go into the website and enroll today, the system would look back 30 days to see if I had any new vehicle or CPO vehicle purchases within the last 30 days, and it will look back the last 14 days for parts or service. Where I bring this up is if you have customers that you've not enrolled in the past 2 or 3 weeks, you could reach out to that customer just on a follow-up call and offer them the opportunity to enroll in the My Chevrolet Rewards program, and they would still be able to capture those 20,000 points for that purchase that they had done 15, 20 days ago. I wouldn't share with the customer that you have 30 days to get this done. Typically, if I'm going to do that call, I'm going to encourage the customer to do it today, and at the very least, do it tomorrow. Conversely, I'm also not going to call a customer that bought a car 30 days ago and say, do this, just to create some disappointment when they wait a couple of days when they find out the points do not post. So you've got the grace period. It's a 14-day look back for OnStar parts and service, and it's a 30-day look back for new vehicle service or purchases of CPOs and the GM protection plan. Sales consultant, your SFE exception form, sales consultant must fill it out and submit the exception form if they feel they were not rewarded credit for a My Rewards enrollment. If a sales consultant has any issues enrolling a customer, and this would be when you're with the customer at the dealership, go on ahead and contact the customer member number. The number's posted here. It's also on the back of the brochures that you have for your customers. Make sure whenever you contact the member center, or your customer contacts the member center, get a case number, because you'll need to reference that case number on any exception forms that you do. And then when you're confirming enrollment through Global Connect, remember you can print that page which shows enrollment with points. You include this page with your exception form. And there you've got the 800 number for the SFE or program headquarters. Common questions. I want to address one thing, because we've got some people from Illinois and some people from Indiana. In the state of Illinois, you cannot redeem those points towards a discount voucher on a vehicle purchase. We're one of 2 states in the nation that are forbidden. That's against state law. So until that changes, or if it changes, in the state of Illinois, we just will not be able to use those points to make the purchase of the vouchers that you apply to a vehicle. Our customers in Illinois will be using the vouchers primarily on accessories and back in the service department. Couple of scenarios just to have you keep in mind. The first one we kind of already addressed. Husband and the wife purchase a vehicle. The husband's listed as the primary. The wife enrolls in My Reward using her name but her husband's email address. It's possible that points won't be rewarded because the names may not match up. It's not definite they wouldn't be rewarded, but it's possible. So we encourage you to avoid this situation, that you enroll in My Rewards whoever is primary on that delivery report. And that way, you're not going to be chasing points after the fact. Secondly, same kind of idea in service scenario. If we've got someone enrolled with the full name of Jennifer, they bring their car in for service, service writer puts Jen as the customer name on the RO, it's possible points may not be rewarded because the name won't match up on the RO. So the key here is to make sure that the activity in the dealership is consistent with the name that's in the My Rewards account. Or as we did in my family, we just set up an account for both my wife and I, and it kind of eliminates that problem. We address this when someone enrolls on the mobile app. Remember that point balance won't show up immediately. They have to log out of the app, log back in using the email address and password associated with Owner Center and My GM Rewards, and their point balance should be refreshed and accurate. Where can members find help? This is My GM Rewards. It's My Chevrolet Rewards. I do not have access. The Chevrolet zone people do not have access. The district people do not have access. And you do not have access to putting points on or correcting things on a member account. The member needs to call the toll-free number. This is the number on the back of the brochure. And with the member center, they should be able to address the issues that customer brings up. There's also some monitoring of social media that's done, and there's also a chat feature that the customer can participate in. But the best thing is to have that customer call the member center. You can participate in that call if it's right at the time you're at the dealership. But if you try to call the member center 2 or 3 days later for the customer and the customer's not with you, there's a pretty strong likelihood that the member center will tell you that the customer has to make the call. Support that the dealership has is, first and foremost, you've got loyalty support at gm.com. This is going into the My Rewards management team. It goes directly to the 3 people in Detroit that oversee this program. You've also got the support of myself as far as the loyalty specialist, and then certainly your zone team and your district sales and district after sales managers. Guess what? That slide means we're done.
Okay, guys. Hey, I wanted to thank everyone for jumping on the call. We'll get this presentation out. At this point, does anyone have any questions? If you do, just go ahead and let us know. We'll try to answer them. If we can't, we'll refer you to the correct people. So we'll just open it up. Does anyone have any questions? Okay. Well, that's a good sign, I think. So it's a new program. Appreciate everyone's participation in this. There's some hiccups. We heard the concerns, and that's why we waived waived July. We just want to make sure everyone's on it for August and going forward so we don't miss out on any payments. But again, appreciate everyone jumping on the call today. If you have any questions, just talk to your district manager and we'll get it handled for you. Thanks. And, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, we don't have any brochures in our dealership whatsoever about this program.
Great question. Go to the GM1 store. The app is in Global Connect. You'll have to have someone that has access. Once you're in one store, in the search bar, type in My Rewards, and it'll pull up the My Rewards support documentation. You can order the Chevrolet brochures. If you're a dealership that has several GM brands, you just order the GM generic brochure. But if you're just Chevrolet, order Chevrolet. I think they're going to restrict your order to 3 packages of 50 at a time. And you can also order the stickers that you can place on an RO, encouraging the customer to ask about My Rewards or go to the website and enroll. There is no charge for the brochures, and there's no charge for the stickers. I do not know whether or not they're billing a shipping charge. But the actual brochures and stickers you can order at no charge. I would encourage you order the amount that you can today and go back and place another order until you get up to the supply.
Any other questions out there?
Right.
And I know they're financing.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, again, appreciate everyone jumping on the call today. Again, if any questions come up, talk to your district manager. And everyone have a great day. Sell some Chevys. Talk to you soon.
Thanks.